Hi, friends. As you might realize, Miss Coke sometimes likes to read stories in twos, where the stories are a little bit related. Yesterday, if you read the story with me, it was The Little Rabbit Who Wanted Red Wings. And today's story is a Dr. Seuss story, The Sneetches. And I'm curious to see if you can see at all how it might be similar to the story we read yesterday. Okay, it's by Dr. Seuss, one of our favorites. Here we go. Now the Starbelly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big, they were really so small, you might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. Love all the rhymes, right? All and small. So you see how the one Sneetch has a star and the other one doesn't. Look at it. Look at how he's got his head up like he's so much better than the other one. That's really not nice. But because they had stars, all the star belly Sneetches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beaches." With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. "We'll have nothing to do with the plain belly sort." And whenever they met some, when they went out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. Gosh, that's not nice. That's so weird. Why would they do that? Why are they acting like they're better? When the Starbelly children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if your bellies had stars, and the plain belly children had none upon theirs. So look how sad. There's the kids, they're playing ball, and these ones look sad because they just won't let them play just because they're a little bit different than them. Inside, we're the same, right? When the Starbelly Sneetches had Frankfurter roasts, Frankfurters are another word for a hot dog, or picnics or parties or marshmallow toast, they never invited the plain belly Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Wow, look at that. So they were having this fun party at the beach, and all the other ones are just sad that they didn't get invited. Just because they don't have a crummy star on their belly? That is weird. Then, one day it seems, while the plain belly Sneetches were moping and doping alone on their beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. Gosh, this guy kind of reminds me of a character from the Lorax. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles, I've heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappy. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed." That means he promises that what he's selling is going to be good. Doesn't that remind you a little bit of the character in the Lorax who was trying to make stuff from the truffalo trees? Then quickly, Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine. Peculiar means strange or weird. And he said, "You want stars like a Starbelly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside. Then the big machine roared, and it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burked, and it bopped them about. But the thing really worked. When the plain belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon thars. So look at this contraption. Like I said, it looks like something, or it looks like something the Cat in the Hat might have in his bag of tricks. But see, they're going in with no star, and they're coming out with a star. They had to pay money for this. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties. and now we can go to your Frankfurter parties. Good grief, groaned the ones who had stars at the first. We're still the best Sneetches, and they are the worst. But now how in the world will we know, they all frowned, if which kind is what, or the other way around? Oh, man. They just don't get it, do they? The people are the same inside. Then up came McBean with a very sly winks. And so sly means tricky, like some of the stories, like where they're trying to trick you. And he said, things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who? That is perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetches on beaches, and all it'll cost you is $10 eaches. $10. It went from 3 to 10. My goodness. So now the other group is looking at paying money to change how they look. Why? Belly stars are no longer in style, said McBean. What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you will look like Sneetches who have them on theirs. And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Oh my goodness. So these guys and girls are going in with stars, giving him money, and they're coming out with their stars gone. How silly. How silly, silly. Then with snoots in the air, snoot, and that's like their nose. They paraded about, and they opened their beaks, and they let out a shout. We know who is who. Now, there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without. Then, of course, those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into the star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you probably guessed, things really got into a horrible mess. Oh my gosh. So now they're paying to have the stars taken off. This is crazy. You guys are all being tricked by McBean, in my opinion. What do you think's going to happen? What do you predict? Are they going to just keep doing this and doing this and doing this? What do you predict, friends? All the rest of that day, on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and about again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money. They kept running through until neither the plane nor the Starbillies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Oh my gosh, they don't know who's who, but I tell you one thing we all know. Look at all the money that McBean has made off of them for all their silliness, for wanting to change themselves. Are you starting to see how this is a little bit like the rabbit story? Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. Oh my goodness. He just ripped them off and they just let him. Look at all the money he made off of their foolishness. I hope they figure this out. What do you think? But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon theirs. Look, they're becoming friends. They're shaking hands, even though they look different. They're not really different. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I will talk to you soon.